welcome back to a brand new episode of this Let's Play of Super Meat Boy. Now, what is worse than hell with lava? Hell with fire! Wait. Doesn't it already have both of them? What kind of sense does this even make? I really don't know. This is the beauty of things, if only because it doesn't have to make any kind of sense, because this place is simply mad. And the music just further adds to this feeling of chaos, because the entire thing is all messy and overly busy. Now, Dark Hell might be the hardest world into the entire game, at least it is for me, except maybe Cotton Alley, but then again, it's not an official chapter of the game per se, it's a bonus world. But this one really is the one which gives me the most trouble. So this is why I'm restarting this level, in order to show you what a more authentic experience of this level is like, if only because, come on, I've beaten the level before on my first try, and things like that are not gonna fly into this video. Oh no, they won't. So, what the hell happened with all of this? Oh, speeding around in hell will help you a whole lot into avoiding obstacles. Because, yeah, I certainly miss it, because if you're trying to go too fast here, well, the platform is simply gonna retract and there's gonna be no stepping stone for you. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do a corner jump into this platform down here, but it's ridiculously hard to pull off. At least with Super Meat Boy it is. So, yeah, while I'm not a fan of the music into this world, well, I gotta say once again, it's really appropriate, because it really lends itself really well to the whole "oh my god, what the hell is going on" type of feeling that this whole place will convey, because we're into Dark Hell, and yet the entire place is all bright and colorful and really happy and full of dying. I'm not really sure you can associate any of those adjectives with Hell or Dark Hell, but yeah, it is for this case. So yeah, this level is a whole lot harder because, once again, the stepping stones are a whole lot shorter, the platform is much faster, so instead of waiting around a whole lot into the Light World version here, well, you're gonna not slack. Why does this place doesn't decide whether it wants to be played slow or fast? Make up your mind already? Okay, now this level wants to be really fast. Because come on, adding additional obstacles to a level isn't enough in order to do a Dark World counterpart of a level. You also need to make it so that the lava rises twice the usual speed, because otherwise it's not gonna be frantic enough. And yeah, of course, they had to add a bandage here too while you're being frantically chased all around the place. I mean, into this level you barely have any time to slack off, and unless you're doing it on purpose, it's impossible not to get grade A+, because by the time you get to the top of this level, you'll be at like 10 seconds or so, and well, if you don't get there any faster, you'll be killed by the lava a long time ago. But then again, getting grade A+ on Dark Worlds is pretty much irrelevant unless for bragging rights. And yeah, the beginning of this section can be really hard if you're taking it really fast like a moron. You gotta be a bit... okay, you gotta be more careful than that, but come on. It's about time that we start dying into this game, because this is where things get real. I mean, come on. You weren't expecting me to go through this entire game without dying or without any fault. I mean, okay, I'm good at this game, but there are limits to what I can achieve. And all of those meats are here in order to showcase it. For some reason, I died way more at the beginning of this level, even though normally this wouldn't be such a hard part, but then again, I've always kind of played this game in a pretty careless manner, so I suppose this is what I deserve, yeah. You can either do the jump this way, or you can do like you did into the Light World version and use this little wall onto the right in order to do the wall jump across the gears, but yeah, either way the poison is really nasty. It's gonna require you many tries to get the timing right, and then you have to deal with the fireballs after that. They really love afterwards to put a whole bunch of fireballs popping in one after the other in succession, just in order to create really specific jumps for you to make it across those chasms of fire and destruction. Oh wait, false start. Okay, now I think I'm going. It's always fun to watch replays in order to see particularly weird or dumb stuff that you might have pulled out. As in, what did you try to do whenever you've managed to do this one particular jump or achievement? Now, this level is particularly tricky, if only because you have to combine really tiny jumps that you have to pull off with precise timing. And just in order to further add to the difficulty, we also have to add recording lag, the best obstacle that this game has to offer, if only because having only a slight hiccup into this game can create a huge hindrance to you, because, well, the way that this engine works depends on your frames per second. And if there are any kind of incident that make it so that the game decides to start skipping frames, well, things are gonna get a whole lot nasty. Meat Boy will pretty much start clipping through walls or obstacles, well, stuff like that. So basically, this is one of the things that really make this game kinda hard to record, because the game has to be constantly running at 60 FPS, otherwise things are gonna start malfunctioning into this game. For some reason, I really like the windows onto this little structure. It makes it seem like a house of lava and death or something. I really don't know what to call those structures, but the only thing that I can say is that they're really neat. So yeah, one thing that you've probably noticed into this chapter already is that in overall I've gotten a whole lot more meats dying in every single level, but if you don't want to deal with the timing, you can skip half of the level by doing a careful wall jump from the platform that you're starting on. It's really hard because of the lava, but if you've played this other warp zone previously, you have the required tools to achieve victory. Now, this is a level that gave me a whole lot more trouble than probably should have done, if only because usually this is not a hard level, but for some reason I decided, oh, I'm gonna cut this gear off by speed, but yeah, doing so can really mess you up really bad. It's usually a whole lot easier to be a whole lot more patient and just make it so that you jump over the saw blade. This is not the fastest route through this level, but this is the most foolproof one. This is not how you do a foolproof run of this level. Yep, once again, I've hurried way too much, because if I did another jump and decided to go over the saw blade, I would have lived, but okay. At least I managed to get things going properly this time around. Also, one weird thing that you'll see in many of the Dark Hell levels is that they tend to change the lava for other obstacles. For instance, in this level, the Sea of Lava has been replaced by saw blades, and it's the same thing here, but this is the least of our worries into this level, because this level is a huge pain. Well, the beginning part is not too hard, even though they added an additional saw blade, but this part is, because they double the amount of fireballs which are raining at you, so you gotta take it really cautiously into this hallway. I really don't know what is wrong with me, because, yeah, the levels which are supposed to be hard, I'm beating them on like my second or third try, and yet levels like these, which should be a whole lot easier, is what end up kicking my ass into the end. Yeah, this teleporter can be really sneaky, if only because, yeah, it's kinda hard to see because of the weird color filter that there is there, but yeah, this is lava. And going through that portal at full speed will make you crash into a sea of lava. Yeah, I've died 3 times as much into this level, even though it's supposed to be a whole lot easier. And yeah, welcome to a level that will make you be thankful that I'm doing editing for this Let's Play, because what I'm not picturing is me dying about 6 or 7 more times on that one saw blade where the portal is. I mean, that's our part of the game, but we gotta draw the line somewhere, if only because, well, after dying against an obstacle something like 3 or 4 times in a row, you will be like, okay, I've got an idea, this obstacle was really tricky to navigate, but can we please move on to something else, please? Thank you very much, I appreciate your cooperation. Yeah, something like that, but either way, we must not make things way too redundant by showing deaths that happen a million of times that you won't need to see. Besides, in the replays, it will all come into light that I've died a whole lot here, yeah. You can see that the number of meats have decreased a whole lot around that one saw blade that I've talked about. I mean, the entire saw blade should be all red now, so this is not realistic enough already. And yeah, I know that I should wall jump back to this one wall onto the left, but come on, I do need to showboat every once in a while. Oh, and also, way to lose all of the time that I've saved by doing this one tricky jump, so congratulations, but then again, you cannot enter this portal the way that you want, because otherwise if you simply jump into it, you're probably just going to die. This level will force you to be a little bit more creative around eyeballs, because, well, you need to backtrack, but there's no way to get this key without making the laser go the other way, so you need to have it blocked for a while. And yeah, this is another one of these levels where I'm dying a whole lot, but usually this is another level that I'm struggling too much with. It just happens that the day that I recorded this, I was really terrible at the game. I don't know, I really have this weird tendency in platformers in general to always press the jump button a fraction of a second too late and make it so that instead of doing the jump that I wanted to do, I just do what I've just did, which is plummeting into a pit and die. But yeah, going back to the... we met high to high, it seemed. But yeah, going back to the music, I don't know, this is the one track of the game that I really don't like as much compared to the other songs that you see into the game. If only because, well, I don't know. The game is really short, so it doesn't take any time to loop, and it's kind of unnerving because you're like, okay, this is a really hard level, you need to concentrate on it a little bit. So, as you can tell, I am not a fan, but I am a fan of this level though. I really like it because, well, you can see the dick move that the designer pulls off on you. They put the key above a destructible block, so you have to be really quick into getting to it. And then you just do the same old good old routine in order to go all the way back to the ending. And for some reason the power time on this level is really fast, so I don't know, maybe the designers wanted you to take the keys one at a time and backtrack to safety every single time, but come on, we must be daring, especially into this level. I mean, the Light World version of this level encouraged you to go as slow as possible, but this one does the complete opposite. So yeah, while I usually dislike levels with the Demon Maws, I really love this one for some reason, if only because this is basically a huge bullet hell avoidance course and pretty much nothing else. There's no nonsense and it's really thrilling whenever you get swarmed all around the place, but yeah, you gotta be faster than that in order to get grade A+, boy. So yeah, you cannot afford to be any sophisticated into your avoidance tactics here. You gotta go as fast as you can, because otherwise you're never gonna make it in time. Yeah, even though this run was pretty flawless, I was only like 2 seconds or so over the power time. And this level shows you how dangerous Demon Maws can be, because when they shoot at twice the usual speed like they're doing into this level, it really makes a whole lot of less of a cluster to avoid. But really, can Dark World Hell finally make up its mind? I mean, there are times where the levels are incredibly wide, and yet there are other levels like this one where the palette is incredibly gloomy due to the use of silhouette and the fact that the levels are overly red. Thankfully, the rest of the level doesn't really add up too much difficulty, but if you want to skip all of this, there's a shortcut for you. But it's really hard to call it a shortcut when beating the actual level will take you far less time than going through this shortcut. As you can see here, this is me getting through this shortcut. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull off my card. Concentration! Oh, okay, I guess it cannot work all of the time, but okay, alright, it finally worked this time. So yeah, while it took me 4 tries to make it through the normal level, taking the shortcut made it so that I died 15 times instead. Hooray for choices that make your life a living hell. Oh yeah, we get the return of this level with far less leeway onto the portals, because instead of surfacing from the middle portal to the top, it's the complete opposite here. And add a few more gears and you're totally set. And this fireball can be a huge dick move because, hey, it blocks up almost the entire path if you're just over a saw blade. But in overall, this level is still really enjoyable. I really wish that you did a whole lot more clever stuff like that with portals, because stuff like that is really fun to wade through. In fact, I don't think that you see any more portals after this. I mean, there's a world later into the game where you have pretty much a grab bag of almost every obstacles in the game, but as far as I remember, there were no portals into it. Oh, and welcome to what I think is probably the most dreary level opening ever, because, well, while into the Light World counterpart, you could pretty much jump right away into the chasm in order to start avoiding the Demon Maws. Well, here, every single time that you start the level, you have to wait through this obstacle course. I mean, it's more tricky because there are far more saws to avoid. Plus, the platform also happens to be significantly faster this time around, but other than that, I don't know. This is not the most riveting opening to a level that there is. I mean, it takes you over 7 seconds to get to the action. And yeah, by the way, this game makes you develop ADD. Ah, come on, why wasn't this obstacle done in 10 seconds? That takes forever. Well, it takes forever into this game. Oh my god, why am I not jumping for the platform already? What am I doing? I guess I was having way too much fun dodging all of the Demon Maws here, but okay, this time around, we're gonna jump all the way back for the platform instead of being a moron. Or, you know, you can also cheese the level by going all the way here in order to hide from the Demon Maws. So yeah, no more obstacles for you to avoid. And once that you're there, the rest of the level is a picnic. However, don't try to jump through this hole here because, I don't know, almost every single time that I've attempted to do it, whenever I would land back onto the platform, I will die. I swear that I was doing that in order to try and demo it, but hey, it kind of backfired considering that I think it's the first time that I've ever managed to make this jump through this tiny little hole. And I really like this one Lonely Meat, which is jumping in circles around the place. I'm kind of saddened that I've actually cut him off early. I don't know, we should have seen more adventures of Meat Boy jumping into circles. Oh, and speaking of jumping around in circles, here comes a level in which you do exactly that. Remember the first level into the light world? Well, this time around it's a whole lot harder because the entire floor is breakable. And of course the demon moss shooter is at twice the usual speed. But that's okay, we're gonna die at the really end. Okay. Things certainly did take an abrupt turn after this one successful attempt. And yeah, don't try to break off all of the floor like that, because eventually you're gonna run out of okay, that was really embarrassing there. Now, you might be thinking, if I hide behind this thing, I probably could be away from the demon moss shooter, but no, it doesn't. It can reach you all the way there. And yeah, by the way, you can still use the cheese tactic of breaking only 2 blocks and then hiding from the moss shooter, but come on, this is not fun. We have to do things the hard way into this Let's Play. I gotta earn my stripes by avoiding all of those demonic thingies with a million of cavities. Whew, and we've made it. And now time for the best replay. Holy shit, what the hell is happening there? Which meat is the good meat? What is going on? I really love clusterfuck levels like this one. Even though they're a pain in the ass, I still love them into some manner. And once again, we have our gauntlet in order to round out hell, but every single room is harder this time around. Well, no, not all of the room, because the final room, I don't think it's even changed. Yeah, this is the same thing than into the light world, and here we go. We have to say goodbye to Dark World Hell, because we finally vanquished the Dark World, with absolutely no damage and no losses. Okay, maybe it wasn't that easy, but that's okay, because we're finally done with Dark World Hell. Stay tuned for the next update, as we're gonna go through all of this level again. Getting this bandage will surely be easy, but will it be easy to stay alive? We're also gonna play some warp zones which defy logic. We're gonna get a new character that's free as a bird. And finally, we're gonna lose all of our colors by going into the glitch world.